Hello, and this is our first public meeting for the Wayne County Locally Coordinated Plan. We are going to wait a few minutes till we get exactly at 6 o'clock. And this is our first public meeting for the, and I don't know, I have my charming assistant, Ashley Hirschberger, who's going to be monitoring everything on the YouTube channel, which is what I'm hoping you're watching from right now. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, so please be patient since this is our first meeting we're doing this way. When we come to the comment portion of the meeting, Ashley will be monitoring that input over there and then letting me know what you have to say. And we will be also going through a presentation. I'm going to bring that up here and you'll be able to see that. And we'll start in just a moment. Okay. Good evening. My name is Leslie Baus. I am the Wayne County Mobility Coordinator at Community Action Wayne Medina. And I'd like to say thank you for joining me this afternoon, evening, however you want to put it. This is our first public meeting to get input on our Wayne County Locally Coordinated Transportation Plan. We'll be going over the plan. I will be asking you some questions as far as what you see as transportation needs. And when we come to that portion, if you comment on the YouTube channel, which is the Community Action Wayne Medina Mobility Management YouTube channel, my charming assistant, Ashley, will be relaying your comments to me, and then I will make sure I get that all input in here so we can update this plan and make sure it adequately reflects the true transportation needs in Wayne County. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the locally coordination plan, what is that? So this is through the Specialized Transportation Program through the Federal Transit Administration. The plan is required by the Federal Transit Administration for anyone seeking funding for this program, 5310. And so this program provides services to the elderly and people with disabilities. It helps with vehicle acquisition for this, helps us buy equipment, and it helps pay for me, your mobility manager. So who can apply for this funding? Well, in Ohio, it can be applied for by private nonprofit organizations or public entities in the area. And that's usually someplace that doesn't have a nonprofit organization that's able to provide the service. And or an organization or an entity that leads in the coordination program project. So this is where your local governments can apply for it, and then they can designate a nonprofit or a suitable agency to oversee this program. So with the plan, the requirements are that it has to be derived, the funding has to be derived from locally developed coordinated public transit human services plan. So we have to go out and go to the community and assess what the transportation needs are, where the gaps are, where there's service, and then come up with goals to then meet these plans, and then come up with a timeline to say this is when we're going to do it. So the required elements of the plan, there are 4 elements. There's assessment of available services, assessment of current transportation needs for people with disabilities, older adults, people with low incomes. Then the strategies and activities or projects to develop and address these identified gaps. And then the priorities for implementing these goals based on the resources we have at hand. So who are our transportation stakeholders? So currently we have the Wayne County Transportation Coalition, which is an ad hoc committee of the Wayne County Housing Coalition. So members of that group include people from transportation planning agencies, public transportation providers, private transportation providers, nonprofit transportation providers, past or current organizations that were funded under former JARC, which is Job Access Reverse Commute Program, or other 5310 programs, passengers and advocates, human service partners, and others, which is anyone interested in transportation for target population. So we do have a Citizen Transportation Advisory Committee that also participates and gives their input. And this is the opportunity where you, the public, can also give your input. So transportation needs. This is where we're coming up on where you get to give your input. So these needs were identified through the surveys that have been done and in the past, and also through public meetings and interviews. So we have a list of about 27. And what I'll be doing here is I'll be reading over all of these. And then I will be asking you to take this time to make comments and identify, if you would, the top 10 of these that you think are really important and need to be addressed. And then if there's something that isn't on here that you believe should be on here, please write that in the comment section there on the YouTube channel so we can get that and I can add that. So I'll read through these right now. So number one is there is not enough public transportation service available. That's for the whole county. Two is we need more wheelchair accessible vehicles. Then there should be more focus on employment related trips. There needs to be more coordination among service providers within my county. And that is service providers not only that are doing transportation, but any of the agencies that are providing services. So say you have someone, is there coordination between Anna Zhao and 180, or is there coordination between Job and Family Services and Goodwill? Those sorts of things. Then there needs to be more coordination with service providers in neighboring counties. There needs to be service available on nights and weekends. There should be door-to-door service for the elderly and disabled. There needs to be service available on nights and weekends. There should be door-to-door service for the elderly and disabled. There are areas of Wayne County that are currently underserved and should be addressed. Provide transportation that is affordable to people not on Medicaid or Medicare. Make transportation low cost or no cost to low income residents. There needs to be more education on available services, programs, and eligibility requirements. Service providers need to better communicate information to the public, such as through websites, advertising, etc. Transportation services should be available 24 hours a day. Using transit is too complicated and requires too much advanced planning. Providing more assistance with car repair payments. So while that isn't public transit, it is still a form of transportation. Service providers need to be more consumer friendly. Wayne County needs more bicycle lanes. Allow unaccompanied minors to ride. Increase the gas voucher. And just increase gas voucher reimbursements amounts. So that's the differences. There are a few places that do have gas vouchers, and then there should be more money on those vouchers. Next is improve lighting, street lighting in Worcester, especially in the South Walnut Street area. The reason that is so specific is I had a lot of input from people in that area, both in the surveys and in the public meetings. There needs to be more sidewalks in my community. There is a language barrier for the users of services in my county. Sharing driver and pulling resources, that's just an overall, people were commenting that they see numerous vehicles around with different agencies couldn't they share vehicles? Like couldn't like NAMI share their van with Amazon, those sorts of things. Then car insurance assistance, improve the condition of sidewalks in Worcester, especially in the South Walnut Street area, upkeep on sidewalks and better conditions, add dialysis transportation, and have transportation to go food shopping. So those are the needs that have been identified. So I'll actually go back over those so you can look at those again a little bit. And then if you're viewing this and you want to select 10, or if there's only 5 of these that you think are really important, you can type those in, or you can add something that maybe wasn't on here. So I'll give you a few moments. I could do the Alex Trebek Jeopardy do, but I'll spare you that. So again, these were derived from public meetings that have been done over the past couple of years throughout the community. When I was able to do this in person, I tried to get to all corners of Wayne County and tried to get to numerous libraries to do this, just to make the access to these meetings a little easier for folks, because if transportation is an issue, then getting out to go to a meeting is probably also an issue. By the way, if you know somebody who maybe couldn't be watching this or who doesn't have internet access, please, they can always call me. Again, my name is Leslie Baus. They can call me at Community Action. I'll give you my cell phone number because I always have that, and that is 330-601-3021. They can call me, they can text me. I would love to hear from them to find out what the transportation needs are that they really need addressed, and that we need to do a better job as a community addressing. So Ashley, are you seeing any input on these?
There's no input yet, but I am going to put up the needs listed in the survey in the comment section, and then I'll also throw up your cell phone number.
Cannot hear you. I have to read. I'm just trying to figure out how to minimize my screen. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a moment. Okay, now I can hear you, Ashley.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I can.
I'm going to throw up the needs listed in the survey in the comment section, and then I'll also put your cell phone number in there. But so far, no one has
Okay, now I can hear you, Ashley.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I can.
I'm going to throw up the needs listed in the survey in the comment section, and then I'll also put your cell phone number in there. But so far, no one has had it yet. Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm going to throw up the needs listed in the survey in the comment section.
All right, well, we will move on a little bit here, and then if we get any comments in, we will go back to put those in. So looking at the comments that were made as far as the needs in the past, we then sat down with the committee and came up with our list of goals. And I'm going to have to go back and kill my volume so I'm not hearing myself. All right, there we go. Now, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So here are the goals. So first of all, the planning horizon for the goals we come up with, it's on a 5-year horizon. So it started in 2018, and then we kind of move it up every year. So what the old plan had was we had planning, which was not yet begun, but will start in the next 12 months. Then we had near term, which would in the past was 2018, 2019. Now it's going to be 2020 to 2021. Midterm is now going to be 2022 to 2023. Long term is going to be 2024 to 2025. And then continuous, which are actions that should occur throughout the entire planning horizon. And that's usually some of the things that are ongoing, like our Transportation Coalition. So number one, the first goal was to coordinate and pool resources when possible and eliminate duplication of services. So out of that goal, here are some of the strategies we came up with. Facilitate and maintain a transportation coalition to serve as a forum for local transit issues, education, networking, and support. The Transportation Coalition will be a committee of Wayne County Housing Coalition. Next, we had create an information and referral system for use by human service agency clients and the general public, which we are doing that currently through Community Action. Next is utilize tools to better educate and inform the general public of the availability of public transportation services. And we have been doing that through having handouts, talking at meetings, having things posted on Facebook, and now the wonderful world of YouTube, which I promise I will get better at this. Next is improve operational efficiencies for transportation providers and agencies through fundamental coordination practices, which we're looking at. Is there ways that transportation providers could share the costs in purchasing things or purchasing services, or going in together to do trainings and splitting the costs there? Next is pursue coordination between agencies and communities to eliminate duplication or reduce duplication of transportation services, which we've been able to do over the past by having different agencies purchase, for at least in Worcester, passes for the Worcester Transportation Program, thereby using that program and not having to have their own transportation service, at least for the people who live in Worcester. Next is develop a transportation brokerage system for Wayne County with participation by all human services transportation providers. And then our next goal is increase the volume of affordable transportation to support employment trips. So with that, we have explore and develop van pool and ride sharing programs to support these trips. And Community Action, or designated agency, will further evaluate the employment transportation needs for individuals with disabilities and senior citizens, and make service design decisions regarding transportation program to be implemented with the receipt of 5310 funds. And Community Action has been working on employment trips. We have started the RMS work transportation program earlier in the year. Actually, we began that in December of 2019. And we are continuing to do that. So we did look at these needs and these goals and came up with a plan on addressing those. Our third goal was to increase options for transportation services for older adults, individuals with disabilities, and people with lower incomes, and the general public. So one of the strategies was for Community Action or another agency to apply for 5311 funds, which those are funds that do countywide public transportation, or 5310 funds, which is a specialized transportation, and then other funding to provide transportation services to older adults, individuals with disabilities, people with lower incomes, and the general public. So that actually is something we have been able to do Community Action worked with the Stark Area Regional Transit Authority. And we also had the city of Worcester involved, the county commissioners involved, and SARTA is the Stark Area Regional Transit Authority. They actually applied for 53 funds and were awarded funding to start countywide transportation here. So the next few months, Community Action, SARTA, the city, and the county, and we'll be working together on designing this service. And we look at having begin in January of 2021. And then Community Action also applied for funding to 5310 funding to do shuttle service, which we awarded that. So what will happen is in January 2021, we'll be able to have a once a month shuttle coming from various locations in Wayne County to Worcester to bring seniors, people with disabilities, and people with low incomes into Worcester so that they can go do some shopping, or they can come in, they could get off the shuttle, they could catch the Worcester Transit bus, go do some things downtown, and then catch the bus, the Worcester Transit bus back to where then they can take the shuttle back to their location. So we will be doing that out of Shreve, Seacrest Village, and out of Rittman to begin with, and see how that progresses from there. And we also will be expanding that to provide paratransit service for Worcester Transit to people with non-ambulatory disabilities. They currently have a paratransit service that will pick up people at home and take them to one of the bus stops in Worcester if they are in wheelchairs or have walking issues. Now this will also be included for people who may be blind or vision impaired, hearing impaired. So that's going to be a really neat program we'll be able to expand. Another strategy was an agency will prepare and submit an application for Title IIIB support services to the Area Agency on Aging. This is funding that is to do senior transportation specifically. And currently Gilchrist Center, which they have senior daycare and they do senior transportation, they are the recipients of this, and Community Action applied for 5310 funds to combine with their funding to expand that transportation. So that's something else that we will be able to do in starting in 2021. Another strategy was for the Adaptive Sports Program of Ohio to apply for funds to get vehicles to increase their opportunities for people who are participating in their sports program. And they have in the past applied for funds and received them, were able to get vehicles for this. Next, Community Action, or an agency designated by the coalition, will initiate connector services to stops for regional transportation providers such as Greyhound, Barron's Bus, Stark Regional Transit Authority, Medina County Public Transit, and the Go Bus in order to enable citizens to travel outside the region. So we have been able to work with Worcester Transit to get people from Worcester to the bus stops for Go Bus and for Barron's Bus, which is the same as Greyhound. So we've been able to do that, and we're looking at how we can expand connections for SARTA stops and Medina County public transits. Next, determine ways and means to provide transportation to low-income unaccompanied minors to attend court-ordered or human services appointments and programs, which we've been able to start doing with at least the Worcester Transportation Program, getting those people, those youth to those appointments. Next is provide accessibility enhancements that remove barriers to individuals with disabilities so they may access greater portions of public transportation systems. And we've started doing walking audits. One of our members of the Citizen Transportation Advisory Committee Beth Beatty. She has been doing walking audits in Shreve and in Worcester. She and another member of the committee, Betty Tate, will start doing walking audits in Orville. So we will then meet with the people who can apply for funds to and make those enhancements, fix sidewalks, that sort of thing, and work on getting that done. So then goal 4 is to expand services and service hours in existing service areas and throughout Wayne County. So transportation will be available on nights and weekends, increase in fixed route scheduled services, such as additional routes and decreased service intervals and hours. And transportation providers should make every effort to expand scheduled services and service hours in existing service areas and into the most rural areas to support employment opportunities, including weekend and second and third shifts. We've been addressing these and have seen growth in all of these, much thanks to Worcester Transit. They've been really wonderful about working with us on all of these things. And we're hoping that we can continue making the inroads into those areas and getting service there. Then 5 is increased transportation programs for seniors, people with disability, low income individuals, to include but not be limited to gas voucher programs, cab voucher programs, vehicle repair assistance, car insurance payments assistance, and car loan programs. I know there's a lot there under that umbrella. So secure funding for new and existing transportation assistance programs operated by Wayne County nonprofits, human service agencies, churches, and local governments. So one of the things we thought was if we could go find funding that we could then help these places with increasing these services. So some of that community action has been able to do with different funds we've been able to provide. And some of this we've been able to do just by better working with other agencies to find out what they're doing and then pointing people in the right direction as far as where they can get this, such as car insurance payment assistance. You can get that through Job and Family Services. Job and Family Services, they also have gas voucher program for people starting to work. They also have vehicle repair assistance programs. Trinity United Church of Christ has a car loan program. So we've been able to do a better job help advertising that and getting that out. And then finally, our final goal was make Wayne County more bicycle friendly. So the strategies that we had were improve bike accessibility on roadways, which we see the city of Worcester doing a phenomenal job with that. Kudos to them. Next, improve bicycle amenities and parking accommodations, and then improve bicycle amenities and parking accommodations. So I have that on there twice. Must mean I really think it's important. But that's the sort of thing we're looking at, working closely with some of the bicycling organizations and groups to find out what would you like to see and where do we need to have this. So that's the end of the discussion of the goals and the needs. So again, please make any comments if you have them, and I'll just go quickly over to this section, which is another way that I can get your input. So we currently have transportation surveys out in the community. This is 4 pages. It's actually 2 pages, both sides, with just a list of questions. Actually, just a lot of them are, do you agree, disagree? How strongly do you feel this is an issue? Then there's some questions about, have you ever needed transportation for work, medical transportation out of the county, things like that, in order to assess what the needs are. So these surveys are available at all branches of the Wayne County Libraries and in Orville. They're also available here to Community Action, both in our office in Worcester and in our Rittman Outreach office, which is at 88 North Main Street. Then they are also available online at our website. You can go https www.cawm.org/transportation-needs-survey/. You can click there. And if you could click on this link, you could click on this link, it would take you right to it. It's probably, maybe, if you're really thinking over it, maybe 10 minutes to take it. So it's a pretty simple survey, but it's really important as far as helping to get your input on the just the transportation needs in our community. So Ashley, do we have any comments?
Nope, I don't see any comments.
So Ashley, do we have any? Okay. Well, it is 6:30, which we are ending this meeting a lot sooner than I had anticipated. But please, if you are watching this after the fact on our YouTube channel, feel free to call me, email me, text me. You can send smoke signals. I will respond because your opinion really matters. It's really important that we build a system that is usable because transportation is just the foundation for so many things. You know, not only getting people to work, but getting to medical appointments, just getting them to be active members of their community, of our community, interact with their families, friends, go to the library, go to a concert. We really want to see this be something that you would use. And, you know, currently we are trying to keep everybody safe. I've been making safety kits to give to all the providers to pass out to riders. So they have a mask, there's hand sanitizer and sanitizing wipes, and some information. I'm also working on getting those out to the community just to try to keep as many people safe as possible. That's, you know, my agenda. So again, thank you for watching. My name is Leslie Bouse. I'm the Wayne County Community Transportation Mobility person. So take care and enjoy your evening. Thank you.